Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina and our fabulous guests in our virtual studio today. Tina, how you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. It's the end of the month. It's Friday, and I don't think any of us realized that it was July 31st, especially my co-host.
No, did you guys know it's the last day of the month?
Did you guys know?
No.
She was like, let's do this on August 3rd. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, it is Monday. She's like, no, it's not. It's next week. I said, well, next week is Monday.
I'm kind of freaking out over here. All of a sudden.
Like, wait, no, it can't be. I said, no, tomorrow's August 1st. And she was like, no. I have too much to do.
I mean, we're all messed up, right? What day of the week is it? Because we're not leaving our homes, so you can, trying to stay on a schedule or some kind of routine. But I all of a sudden feel very behind, knowing that it's the last day of the month, it's the last Friday, and how did I miss that?
And how did you miss July?
Because somehow I must have just been partying or celebrating or something was distracting.
What it was? It was you taking off those 2 weekends. You unplugged last weekend.
I did.
And you unplugged the weekend beforehand. That's what it is. It's because you unplugged.
It's because I unplugged 2 weekends in a row that I turned my computer off at 6 o'clock on Friday and I don't turn it back on until 8 o'clock Monday morning. 2 weekends in a row, arguing with myself all weekend that it's okay, right? That I can get that done. But I mean, does this matter to anybody else? Am I the only one like panicked?
Who's freaking out right now?
I am too. I am.
You are?
I am. Yeah.
Ava, how are you doing today?
I'm awake. I'm good.
Just like I'm awake.
I just had
Ava,
a crash.
where are you coming from? Are you in the Pacific? Are you in Pacific time?
I'm in New York.
You're in New York. Okay. So it's not too early for you, but Holly.
That is.
Yes, California, Pacific Standard
Like,
Time.
yes. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, see, you're lucky, Holly, because this show used to be an hour earlier. And so it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, which wouldn't have been good for you.
No. So thank you.
It was pretty cruel. It was pretty cruel to our West Coasters.
Poor California people would get on like this.
But in order to call it the morning show, and Tina's on the East Coast.
It has to be in the morning.
Right.
That makes sense.
You can't do the Angel and Tina afternoon show.
Yeah, I know. Why didn't we pick something like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Did you want to do a nighttime? Like a Jay Leno type of thing?
Like cocktail hour.
Well, because if we would have called it cocktail hour, we would have been a little bit tipsy all the time.
It could be brunch. You could do brunch or midday.
We can do this however we want to, Angel.
That's right.
In 2 weeks, we have the 100th episode of the Angel and Tina Morning Show. We have the ANT Awards.
That's true. We could do it how we want. Like there are times I look at my calendar and look what I'm doing, and I kind of freak out over what's going on, and I realize it's self-inflicted. Like doing this to myself. Nobody else.
My boss is not telling me to do all this.
Nobody else is telling me. Nobody else is doing this. Like I've created this madness. You know that phrase. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
It is your circus.
It is my circus.
You are the monkey.
I have totally created this. So Ava, what have you been up to for the month of July at least? Did it fly by for you?
This
It
last
totally
week,
flew by. I didn't even know what day it was half the month. And I have an online magazine, so I try to do updates, a lot of updates, at least once a month to have everything new. And I didn't know what day it was, and I was telling people to have it in by like 3 days ago. And like, oh wait, you have one more day. But they all end up doing it late anyway, so I have to.
I know, right? Bringing people around for deadlines is we've try to get them in, get it early when you've got to print and stuff, and it's like hurting kitty cats.
Right? It is. That's how it is. Sometimes with our summit. We're like, okay, we need your bio. Okay.
Oh, the summit. Oh my gosh. All day. I don't know how you guys stay awake.
It's caffeine.
Yeah. Me too.
However, if you're doing what you love to do, it is.
Sometimes we get off and we're like, oh my God, that was amazing. And sometimes we get off and we're like, I'm exhausted.
We're tired. What have you been up to this month, Holly? What project have you been working on?
I have been working on a few different projects. One is I have Perspectives podcast, and I started that mid-March when all of a sudden my daughter ended up home as my new student. And I thought, what are the other parents doing? So I'm reaching out to my homeschooling sister and my daughter's teacher and realized that it's all blind leading the blind. I said, somebody's got to help. And so I'm a nurse, and other nurses are making masks. And I'm like, oh, I barely passed home ec. I know I can't make masks. I'll make a podcast.
Making masks like out of socks and pantyhose.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Trying to create all this.
So I'm like, I'll leave that to the professionals. So I started a podcast to interview teachers and parents who are trying to navigate all of a sudden working from home and dealing with the stress of school and trying to maintain that relationship. Because, you're like, you have to do this. So, I'll have one mom who has a curriculum and a calendar and a schedule that she executes, and she's begging them at 8:00 at night and bribing them. We have one more thing to do. And I have other parents that are like, what's important is their integrity, self-esteem, and
do this next week.
So that was
we're going on a field trip again today.
right. And and parents, there's some who are saying this is great, I have time with my child, and other ones are like, oh, I still want to like my child after this. And
I am glad. I always say, I became an empty nester 18 months ago. And now I'm like, I became an empty nester 18 months ago. Because
right.
I don't know what I would do if I had my kids at home and trying to run a business at the same time, because they would not leave me alone. There would be no way. They would be all over me.
Yeah, but I saw that. It's like, I saw a thing. It's the Corona coaster. Like one day we're like, I love this. I love being home. I love the downtime. I'm baking banana bread. I'm, working out at home. I love my family. And then the next day we're like crying our eyes out and day drinking. Right?
I miss my friends.
You know what gets me though?
We don't even like.
Maybe that's what it was last week. Remember I called you and I was like, something's wrong with me. I think something's wrong. I think I'm depressed. And then the next day I was fine. I think it's the Corona coaster.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that before.
But who are these people that keep saying that we'll have more time now?
Are we gaining an extra 24 hours?
Because we're home, we have more time.
I thought we always had 24 hours.
Yeah.
But
somebody else get more time? I didn't get it.
We're not commuting, we're not sitting in traffic. We can go right from one activity right to the next. And supposedly, right, there's things that we're not, because we're not going out and doing, but
I don't know. Angel, look at your calendar and let me know if you
just filled. It's like taking your hand out of a bucket of water. It just somehow filled in all around that empty space.
Because you were working 13-hour days, 14-hour days.
I was working very long days, and I had to ask my boss if I could scale back, and she said I could, but then
don't.
But I have now 2 weekends in a row completely. I even turned my phone off.
And you have even left the house.
I did. I went to my friend's house who has a swimming pool in their backyard.
And then last weekend you had a party.
I did. I had some friends came over. Although,
so you're not a complete mole anymore. Maybe you.
You know what though? I'm going to reverse it. I have to reverse it because I've got some people that I know that are getting sick, and I'm like, ooh, I think we're being just a little too cavalier with our going out and seeing people. So
you're like, yep. My chair is right here. I'm keeping it.
Yeah, I'm going back to my mole world.
I haven't been outside at all.
No.
I went outside to get my hair fixed. I think I fixed it. I'm not sure. Last week, and I went to the dentist the week before, and I was out March 13th, and I walked the dogs a couple of times, and that's it. I've been here. It's really good to see all of you. Some social interaction.
The Zoom really does help. you know, I got my kids on Zoom the other day, and it was the first time ever that we've all been together, you know, in years. And I was like, you know what? Everybody get on my Zoom, and they all did. And they were all making fun of each other, how each other looks, and I'm just cracking up because it's like how they used to do, you know, with having 3 boys, they all.
I think we did Zoom. We Easter Zoomed with all of my in-laws and all of the family members. We did Easter Zoom, which was the first time my in-laws had even Zoomed at all. So it was really fun. How about you, Holly? Are you out and about, or are you staying in?
I actually, we just went up to Washington and Oregon and enjoyed the beach, smelling the fresh ocean, the negative ions. And it was like the world's shortest, or United States shortest river. So it's this little tiny river that feeds in the ocean. And my daughter, she's 11. We were celebrating her 11th birthday. And so she could build a wall and reroute the river. And it was so needed. And, you know, we wore a mask and hand sanitizer, but the airport wasn't crowded at all. Like, we were the only people getting our luggage at the time. So, and I'm used to traveling a lot. And so I'm like, I feel safer, less germs now. Yeah. Than when I normally fly.
When we first started stopping the quarantine, I still had 2 more trips. Like, I was in San Diego when they were about to go on lockdown. I literally got out 4 hours before California went on lockdown. And there was 3 people on my airplane. In fact, the guy found out that my book just went best release, and he popped a bottle of champagne. And I went, oh, we never had that before. So it was so weird to have just those many people there. But we got the whole row. I was able to kick my feet up. We got free Wi-Fi. I was texting somebody the whole way back from California.
That's really cool. My daughters work at Disney World, and they opened up Animal Kingdom. The cast members have been blocked out, and they opened up Animal Kingdom, and so they got to go in there this week. And there was nobody there. They were practically had the park all to themselves, which was weird but fun.
Were the animals out, or they were like,
animals were out?
You have Corona.
Did they miss people? It seems like you missed
ordered that too.
The trainers.
Yeah, the animals.
Yeah.
There's people. There's still people in the park, but not nearly. It's not like there's only 3 people in the park. There's probably only 3,000 people in the park, right? Like, it's there's still people, but it's just very minimal. They had to wait 30 minutes for the Pandora ride, and which can have a 3-hour wait, right at its prime. So it is
take a trip to Disney. We can have the Angel and Tina morning show on location at Disney.
We watch the Disney bloggers, like, to see what it's like there. And it's very different. It's a very different experience than what you are used to. And anybody I know that's traveling right now, it's, the hotel issues are different. Eating out is different. It's just, it's a very unique experience. So I'm home, but that's okay. I got work to do. I'm like as busy like you, Ava. Like, I'm as busy as I've ever been. In fact, busier. I have to make sure that I'm scheduling my downtime, right? And my off time, because otherwise I would just, seriously, this chair has a permanent mold of me because I never get out of it.
Who said it the other night in the summit? Zoom butt.
Zoom butt. It is.
I was laughing.
Yes. Right. We got the Corona coasters, Zoom butt. We were
Zoom fatigue. We have
Zoom fatigue. All these new phrases and words and things that were
months ago when I remember Angel saying something about social distancing, and I was like, what is that? It was like, I think it was like the beginning of, or the end of February, when all this started happening. I texted her, I was like, what is social distancing? And she had to tell me what it meant, because I was like, how do you know
that?
We're not being social. It's just distancing.
Tina, that does not comprehend for Tina.
No. I was like, what?
Well, let's
get social and distancing. I don't know why they came up with that. It's antisocial, or but it's
I'm definitely not antisocial.
Yeah.
But Angel, look, we've both got the disco ball going on.
I do.
Oh, no.
Flipping
This
joints.
disco ball actually moves and lights and everything.
Mine works.
Ooh,
Sort of.
look at, I want a disco ball. I can hang it.
You need one there.
You
Hang
could.
it.
You could totally. Well, let's get to know our guests a little bit better. Holly, I have your bio here. I'll read yours first. Maybe, right? I have this very big screen, so there's all sorts of stuff going on it.
So she has to read the screen like this.
I know it does. I don't know why. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Holly coaches nurses and other healthcare professionals on how to successfully navigate their careers in the dynamic world of healthcare through workshops, group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Her workshop, Reigniting Your Heart for High Performance Nursing. It's for new careerists needing to map out an intentional career path, for the experienced nurse wanting to expand his or her career, looking to make a move without going back to school, or the experienced nurse who may be a bit burned out, not sure if he or she has the energy to move in to a new field, but wants to be in something that feeds their soul with a strong income. She wanted to be a counselor, a teacher, or a detective. And as a nurse, she gets to be all three. With almost 35 years in nursing, she's helped to counsel and coach high school students, be a passionate educator to her patients, nursing director over a team of 40 clinical documentation integrity detectives, a collaborator on her Perspectives podcast. I know it does, it goes all the way across my screen. And the role she is most passionate about is helping nurses in navigating an intentional and successful career. Holly, we're super glad you're here today.
Yes, awesome. That is amazing that you wanted to be a nurse or a detective.
Well, high school, you take the quiz and you answer the questions, and then the career counselor says, well, it looks like you should be a nurse. And I said, oh, Charlie's Angels was popular at the time. I want to be like Jacqueline Smith.
Jacqueline Smith, right? I named my daughter after her.
Oh, did you? So they said, okay, we'll schedule you. You can't follow a detective because you're gonna, give them away, but you can do a ride along with police, and then we'll have you follow nurses for a day. And I ended up, pursuing nursing instead of police work or
Instead
detective.
of the police work, it wasn't as glamorous and exciting as it looks like on TV.
But like you said, you're almost like a detective because you have to ask all these questions to
Right.
get it and to pull everything out of them to understand and to diagnose them, right?
Right. So clinical documentation integrity, most people, even in healthcare, are like, what's that? And when we're interviewing and we ask the candidates, do you see yourself as a detective where you like to figure things out and come up with and they're like, yeah. So we're like, okay, that's the right mindset versus someone saying, give me the manual. I need the boxes to check off. That doesn't work because our nurses review the chart and they find places where doctors may chart differently. We ask, that's incongruence. We see different labs are hinting towards certain organs are starting to crash. And so we'll do an email query and send it off to the physician and say, we noticed this, what are your thoughts? But we do it in a compliant way. And so we're able to still impact patient care because they're like, oh yeah, the kidneys they need some hydration or right, I need to order. So it's a way to still feel like you're contributing and being that backup or the pre-review for the physician. And the idea is that we tell a complete story in the chart. Because when you leave, you want to have that complete story for your next caregiver or your practitioner and could see what's going on, how sick you were. And a lot of doctors will complain like, my patients are sicker. We're like, we'll document that. So that quality scores and all kinds of stuff. So anyway.
But that's what we want, right? I think a lot of times we'll go to, here's a doctor and he's looking at this one thing. And so, okay, we're going to fix that. So for example, my mom has had her heart valve replaced. So she has a mechanical heart valve. And she's on blood thinners and she had to go to the hospital because she had a bloody nose that wouldn't stop. So the one, so she has her heart doctor that's concerned about the heart. She has her ear, nose, and throat doctor that's concerned about the nose. She's got the blood doctor that's concerned about this. And they're things like kind of counterbalanced and countered each other. This one wants this, but that's going to affect this.
No, it's going to hurt her heart. We can't put her on that. No. I got to stop her bloody nose. But if you stop it, it's going to.
So having the whole picture, that's versus, okay, I'm just looking at this one piece. I'm looking at this piece, which is true. That will solve for that one thing. But what you do does, it creates this.
I feel like I'm in Grey's Anatomy.
And it's true, because the cardiologists are trying to protect their stent or their valve, and then the GI doc, the stomach doctor, he doesn't want the ulcers to bleed, so he's saying stop the medication, so in different places. And that's where you hope that your nurse who's taking care of you says, wait a minute, he says stop this and he said order that, and call and say, okay, you guys decide what it is. But the other thing with the documentation is, you hear how patients feel like they're getting kicked out too early. Well, sometimes the documentation doesn't support it. So we'll say to the surgeon or physician, hey, the patient's expected length of stay is 4 days. You're telling us she's sick, but you don't have the documentation to support that. And they're like, oh, well, I'm thinking this and I'm really worried about that, and this could happen. It's like, you need to document that. If we get that, that'll go into a different, decision tree, and you'll get an extra 4 days. And so we try, when we first came out as documentation, they're just like running from us. Now they see we help them get what they need. And if the hospital gets the appropriate reimbursement, they will also get their new equipment for their, surgery suite. So
you have to convince them, like, this isn't just something that's a part of it. This is something, an additional thing that they weren't doing before.
Right, because you think of it, time, it's like, oh, how are you? Yep, you're looking good. That's good enough. And especially the surgeons, they want to look at their mechanics. How's the engine they fixed? Then the tires are flat, but they fixed that engine. So we remind them, like, okay, the tires are flat, so you're not going to be able to get the car out until that's addressed also. And it's not that they're fully capable. It's just that they focus on what they need to. So we ask them to comment on the other parts of the body too.
Okay, so it's changing their procedures. Probably takes a little, probably some training.
A little more time.
Yeah, more time. But the end result, I mean, kind of like when we train our kids, like to load the dishwasher, right? It takes a little time to get them there, but the end result is better for everybody.
Right. I have a dishwasher question. When you empty the dishwasher, do you pull the top rack out or the bottom rack? What order do you empty the dishwasher?
I pull out the bottom rack and then I take a cloth and dab off the top of any little cups so that it doesn't drip onto the bottom stuff.
And Tina's like, who cares? Top rack.
Why?
I don't think I have seen if I pulled out the top or the bottom. I'm the toilet paper person too. Like, it doesn't matter front or back. Toilet paper wise either.
Like, there's toilet paper. Who cares, right?
It's toilet paper. I don't have to worry about.
As long as you have it right now.
The reason why I asked the dishwasher,
but the dishwasher thing,
I agree.
I do the bottom because if you do the top, it drips onto the bottom.
But I'm embarrassed to say it took me 50 years to figure out that optimization of dishwasher emptying. I always was like, oh, now I got to dry this off and this off because all the water splashes. Like, seriously? So when I was talking to my staff and I'm like, we want to optimize our workflow, and they're like, oh, we have to put something else in. I said, sometimes changing something will make us more efficient. It's not an addition. I said, my dishwasher, I empty it faster now. I was given a new task to do this bottom rack first. And they're like, oh, we never thought of that. And now they're like, you haunt us every time we empty our dishwasher. We're thinking, Holly says, pull the bottom rack out.
Holly, it's so funny that you asked me that. And the only reason I know the answer to that is I actually talk about it in my very first book about emptying the dishwasher.
No way.
Really?
I do, because it was one of those chores that,
Then I
kept
need
putting
to
off
save my life.
and, didn't want to do, put it off. The dishes, collect up on the counter because nobody wants to empty the dishwasher. So one time I timed myself. It took me less than 3 minutes to empty the dishwasher. And I'm like, I am putting this stupid thing off and it's bigger project in my head. It's less than 3 minutes, right? I can be, put on a cup of coffee or the pot of coffee and empty the dishwasher and just be done, right? All at the same time. That is so funny that you would even ask me that. Holly, how do you
I know the answer.
how do you want people to connect with you and get involved with being a CDI person?
Oh, you know what? Actually, what I like to connect with people is my coaching that I've been doing. They can go to nursecoach.co, or what's even better is just email me, Holly Kalua, HOLLYKALUA @nursecoach.co. And the most interesting one recently was someone who's in a circus, like Cirque du Soleil kind of thing. And she's like, I'm in Montreal. We're not doing the circus. I actually am a nurse, but I've been out. What do I do? And she was just kind of like, oh, is it even possible? So we mapped out what she's going to do, what hospital she's going to look for, because she has a plan to go back in the circus while she still is active and then back into nursing. So we had to have a strategy for that. And now she's excited again. So it's fun. It's really fun.
She's in the circus and she's a nurse?
Yes. So I'm not sure if she went into the circus to pay for nursing, or I don't recall the sequence of that. But she's young and athletic, and I imagine the circus probably pays pretty well in those high-end circus. But all of a sudden she's
not performing right now. Yeah. So
right. And she doesn't have a nursing license in Canada, and she says, I only have this experience and this experience, doing pediatric psych. And so I said, when you go to an interview to work on a pediatric unit or a pediatric clinic, they may say, oh, well, you don't have experience. I said, but you can point out you have the most important experience, and that's the psychology of understanding children, how to make them feel better, which will then have them take their medication, which will then have them hold still for the procedure. So, they can teach you how to hook up an IV. They can't teach you how to understand children. So you have a skill that's more advanced. So it's just like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway.
I love that.
And that you're taking
at the hospital.
You're also taking nurses or people that are feeling burnt out of their field and helping to reignite that passion again.
Right. COVID is really scaring a lot of nurses to either, leave the floor. But what we tend to do is like, we've got to leave nursing because we want to escape the floor if we're afraid of something. But nursing is the most incredible field because, like I said, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a counselor or a detective. And I, with my staff, I'm always counseling them as people first and employees second. And I used to formally teach early pregnancy class and that type of thing. So it's just a matter of getting back to your why. Why did you become a nurse? And okay, maybe it's just to make good money. Be honest, what is it? Make good money on something that you're passionate about.
I'm just thinking as people are listening to you this morning, even if they're not in nursing, right? Whatever industry you are in, right? If this isn't going well, doesn't mean you have to leave it completely, right? There might just be some kind of tweak or shift of how you can get back to why did you start this in the first place? What was your passion? What was your vision? And find something just a little modified so you can stay there. You don't have to give it all up. I think that's a lot of times what we feel like. I have to give it all up completely. And now I have no idea what I'm doing or what my purpose is. So Holly, I think you've given a lot of hope to people today.
Great.
I love it. I love it.
Well, let's get to know Miss Ava, our internet solutions, busymom.com. She is from New York. She started in the 1980s promoting nightclubs and managing bands in New York City, building a large marketing and distribution networks in NYC building and large marketing network. She launched the careers of many popular disco and dance artists at the time and some rock bands too. I'm a disco fan lover, right? Obviously, right?
He's an ABBA lover.
Right. In
I didn't work with them.
2007, she was among the pioneers of podcasting. Wow, in 2007, as a podcast consultant, a regular at PodCamps and other digital media conferences, later becoming the co-publisher of Podcaster Who's Who online magazine and co-organizer of PodCamp City Online, an online podcasting conference. She's now an internet marketing consultant, a website services provider, creates products like domain names, web hosting, email, social media management, marketing, promoting websites. Her, let's see, oh, that's actually repeats. The proud owner of the online magazine, busy-mom.com, where she has experts writing articles, offering great deals, groups, and events for moms and grandmoms. For 28 years, she's been devoted to helping other moms with their online and home businesses. And she now has a group to help single entrepreneurs called Smile, Single Moms in Loving Entrepreneurship. And members who can help them for free under no obligation. So busy-mom.com. Ava, so excited to have you here. You're like, yeah, a pioneer in podcasting. How did you become a pioneer in podcasting?
I started when I was 13. Literally, I started in computers when I was 13. Nobody had one. I was the only one. And then I just followed whatever was happening next, tried to get ahead of the game. And I was on AOL when it was Q-Link before that. A long time ago. And then I don't know how it happened exactly. I just was with a colleague of mine and he said, let's go to this conference and you can learn all about this new technology. And I had no idea what it was, but I learned very quickly. And then since nobody else was doing it, everybody was asking me, how do I do this? So I'm a GoDaddy reseller also. And GoDaddy used to have a product called Quick Podcast. So it would just synchronize everything and do everything for you and spit out your podcast. And I was selling that for a while. Excuse me. And then I was just inundated with people and podcasts. And I'm like, I have to concentrate and just consult and tell people what they should do without going crazy looking at all these other services, which is basically what I'm still doing.
Lots of plates spinning.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people are starting their own podcast right now.
Tons, yes, including me, by the way. That was the announcement that I was going to make.
Well, tell me, I know you posted
announcement.
online.
Let us know.
Great
But I
big
can hear you both
announcement.
talking at the same time. I didn't hear you.
Give your announcement, Ava.
Okay, so I have 3, but since you just mentioned the podcast, I'm doing one in a couple of months. It's a little early, but we're planning it now with Nancy McDonald. She's the grandma of busymom.com. She's not my mother, but I call her mom. And we'll be sharing like tips and tricks on what to do with your dishwasher, tech stuff, like why do you need, just think of an example, why do you need this service for your website, interviews on companies that have services that will work well with internet marketing, and just have some fun and learn. And it's mostly geared towards business moms like all of us. So we'll try to get in as many mom CEOs as we can.
I love it. And so is it going to be busy-mom or what's it going to be called?
Not sure yet.
Oh, you're not sure yet.
Not
Okay.
sure yet.
So that was
But
your
it
big
will be on the
announcement.
website.
No, that wasn't your big announcement.
No, you know what my big announcement is.
Well, the world doesn't.
The world
The
doesn't.
world does not know. I'm going to be in the One Habit what is it called? One Habit of Success for Entrepreneurs, Entrepreneurial Success. With you, Angel. Entrepreneurial Success, that's what it was. And that's coming out in a couple of months, I think, with Forbes Riley and lots of other celebrities. So that's my big news. I wrote
That is very exciting.
small chapter in the book.
Right, it is. It's very exciting. Forbes Riley was able to pull together some of her top influencers, top entrepreneurs who wanted to contribute a chapter. She pulled together what, like 75 authors in like 72
2 days.
hours.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I don't know what the exact numbers were, but of course, you know, Forbes says, "Hey, I'm doing this," and people came out of the woodwork. So congratulations
Thank
on
you
that. Of course, it'll be an international global bestseller. Have you published a book before?
No, and the weird thing is that people have been asking me to write books since COVID started. I don't know why, because I'm not. I mean, I've done writing. I've edited newspapers. I've done, you know, the Tuccy Journal and Busy Mom, but I just had like an urge one day. I was drinking my coffee, and I wrote a book about coffee.
A whole book?
You wrote a book about coffee?
Well, it's not out yet.
Angel,
I'm still working on
put our
it.
stuff together because you and I probably could have wrote a book on coffee.
Yeah, all different kinds of coffee, how to make coffee, where the coffee comes from, the history of it. Yeah, I just had an urge, so I'm just going to put it on Busy Mom ebooks.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
The
there you go.
Coffee that saved my life.
So you had never written a book before, but you just felt the urge to write this book about coffee.
Yeah, weird, which doesn't fit my market
He's a
at
coffee
all.
addict like us.
Yeah, just like you guys.
Yeah, my husband, you know, I've been going through like a whole bottle of like cream every week. And I just realized that. And he's like, "Angel, it's a little more than that." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Shoot." He's like, "Yeah, you might want to pour less." I'm like, "Well, when I pour less, it doesn't taste as good."
I got the same issue with my almond milk.
You have a little coffee with your creamer?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think we like our coffee about the same. And I like the flavored coffee too. It just makes it taste better.
It is yummy, right? It is yummy. He did bring me home. He went out the other day and picked me up a white mocha and brought that home as a special treat, which I was coming out of the office to refill, and he was walking in the door. And so he's like, "I'll take that." And
See,
I
he must have got that little trick from me.
yes, it was fabulous. Well, Ava, congratulations. I know you have a lot of projects and a lot of things that you're working on. And I think we all do. Like Holly, Tina, we've all just been able to use this time. Like you would have never written a book about coffee before this, right?
No.
You're doing what you do.
No.
Opened up, maybe something brand new. You could end up, doing all this publishing coming forward.
Maybe I'll need a publicist too.
There you go. You got new little things in the horizon.
Right? I know yesterday. So we have, I was working with a gentleman yesterday. His book is about ready to come online. So we were working on that. A new book, Becoming Annie, is available tomorrow. And so, yeah, it's like every week there's something new. You should see my list of publishers and books that are publishing that are coming out this month. We probably have 13 books that are going to be released throughout all of our clients that have been working on them during this time, including Miss Tina's.
You have a book too,
It's not coming out this month.
It's not coming out this month?
No, in September.
Why are you waiting?
Because it's coming out in September.
What is it about?
I'm doing pre-sale, so it's called Beyond Gratitude. Strategies and tips to create a client for life.
Sounds good.
Right. Well, congratulations.
I just got my book
Congratulations, Ava.
Thank you.
I know that you've got the magazine. You're looking for guests to interview. Are you looking for features, people to write articles? What are you looking for?
All of the above. Actually, it's not in print yet. It's all online. It's a website. It's an online magazine. So we have experts that write in every month, and we have contributors. And those experts are the ones that are more involved with the site. And I help them out by doing their internet marketing while I'm marketing my site. So I'm marketing them too. and we rotate a bit. Sometimes they don't write, sometimes they do. So I'm really looking for people that will stick with it and maybe do some seminars for
Well, you're going to have
visitors.
to put your stuff on needaguest.com.
I did.
Oh, good.
Well, it's if as new things come up, Ava, right? That's, as you're looking for, and the clearer you can be, right? I'm looking for a guest who can write an article on this. I'm looking for a guest to interview about this. Then you get, I think, a higher quality of response, right?
Okay, that's a good tip.
And so, yeah, Need a Guest was our matchmaking site that we created. It's a Facebook group. If you're a podcaster, an online, like you've got, I know even Forbes had posted in the group that she was looking for authors for her book, right? If you are looking for guests to interview or to be featured, you can post it at Need a Guest, and you can get there by going to needaguest.com, and it'll take you right to that Facebook group. And then if you want to get booked, you want to be featured, right? You want to write articles, be featured in online publications. There are so many opportunities out there for you to create exposure and distribution. And speaking of exposure and distribution, I want to mention our award-winning executive producer, sponsor of the Angel and Tina Show, responsible for taking us global on digital streaming networks, Zandra TV Network. Zandra TV, actually, let me share my little graphic here. Let me pull it up. Tina, talk for a minute.
There, actually, Zandra is watching right now. So, hey, Zandra.
How do you know?
She is our, not only our friend, but she's also our producer of the Angel and Tina Morning Show, and brought it 7 different channels and got it syndicated. So,
okay, do you see the banner?
yes.
Okay, so these are our fabulous sponsors of the Angel and Tina Morning Show. Zandra TV Network is the premier award-winning network where small business entrepreneurs can tell their story on local, national, and global television. You can schedule your discovery call by visiting beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com to start your affordable global marketing experience today. And we have launched so many new programs, so many new TV producers. Ava, she's taking podcasting to a whole new level. So if you're thinking about taking that podcast and putting on digital streaming networks, or if any of your contributors have content, you can connect with Zandra TV Network, beonztv.com. And then, of course, Bliss by the Lake Boutique is also our clothing sponsor.
So have a cute top on today by Bliss by the Lake. It is a cute little thing there, and it's reversible. You can wear it both ways.
Oh, nice.
And it's kind of got this little like peekaboo. So it's like got a little peekaboo on the back too.
Tank top underneath it.
Yeah, so Bliss by the Lake Boutique, follow them on social media. Every weekend they're doing fashion shows and trunk shows and live parties and fashion shows in their boutique, and they ship anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. So
they have some fabulous little finds. A lot of my tops and jewelry comes from them. So a lot of you guys comment on that crisscross tank top that I wear. I have several different colors, and that came from Bliss by the Lake Boutique.
I know, and it's like what, $25 for the.
They were like, I think they're $29, but they're so like the little crisscross makes it.
Yes, and they come in a lot of different colors. And yeah, like the little dress I was wearing yesterday, I think was $39. So yeah, super affordable. Bliss by the Lake Boutique. And then how many of you are too busy, right? Feeling too busy, too much on your plate, all of us. But how do we get it done? What is our secret to success? We hire our virtual assistants. Sonic VA, sonicva.com allows you to focus on what you do best and outsource and hire away for all the rest. Go to sonicva.com, sonicva.com. And when you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, you're going to get 10% discount off your first 40 hours of VA service. It's like getting a month back of time. Ava, you're like, where did all this free time go? Well, we outsourced it.
I don't have a VA.
Well, you check out Sonic.
I need 80 hours a week.
One, yes.
It is the best thing when you can say, this is my list assistant, 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 and done.
Absolutely.
And you're like,
Make it-
oh, well, I don't have to do nothing else. I can take the day off.
and it's quick, right? And so with Sonic VA, they have VAs both in the United States and in the Philippines. So imagine having this to-do list of all the things you want to get done that you didn't finish today, sending it to your VA at the end of our day. Go and have dinner, go enjoy your family time, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and your to-do list is done. Like for very, very little money.
Very,
right?
very
Absolutely.
little money.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
It's so worth it. It really is. I love my VA, Angela.
all three of our sponsors, right? Our show is possible because of our fabulous guests who come in and give us such great conversation, that bright start to our day. But our sponsors are just incredible and so supportive. So follow them, check them out, tell them you heard about them on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. And then Kevin, who was on the other day, who was selling his new
That I
margarita.
can't wait to get a bottle of.
Yeah, so he's been getting orders for that too.
What is it?
Right? It's so cool.
It's
But that's in
A
Denver.
bottle of margarita mix.
Habanero,
okay.
habanero juice, margarita juice.
The juice.
Ava, how did you want people to get in touch with you?
Me? Oh. You can email me at ava@avahosting.biz, or of course you can go to busy-mom.com, and we have a chat right there on the homepage. So but you have to register, which is free, and log in so you don't get a crazy name that they make up for you when you're not logged in. And then you'll just see me there all the time.
Okay, fabulous, fabulous.
And the A&T Awards are coming up in 2 weeks. On August 14th, we have our 100th episode coming up. So if you have been a guest or are just a watcher of the Angel and Tina Morning Show, you can nominate a past guest. And I say it that way because everybody's been nominating themselves, but they haven't been a guest on our show.
You have to be a guest on the show.
You have to be a
right?
guest on
'Cause
the
we wanna-
show.
We want to bring back on our 100th episode some of the previous guests, some fan favorites, people choice awards. So Holly, Ava, you included. So go
Great.
back and watch some of the previous episodes and see if there was somebody, a fan favorite, a people's choice.
And create your own category. You know, I nominate Ava for being the best, whatever. So make
Thank
it
you.
fun, be creative.
I
And then
was on with Manny Lopez yesterday, and he said he's been nominated for best hair. And he's like, I've been nominated for best hair on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. He's like, what was that? I'm like, apparently it's a coveted
said that on his
award.
networking event.
Yeah. Well, we did a little Q&A with Les Brown yesterday. And so I get a text message from him. I had it wrong in my calendar by now. Apparently I need my weekend.
You
Apparently
need a
I am
world
like,
clock on your phone. Don't you have one?
I have a clock. on my phone.
She had all these little clocks on her desk.
Time zones.
Yeah. Time zone converter right on
I
the
think
phone.
the time zone thing.
Eva,
is
I
what
don't need that kind of
people know.
negativity.
I
Trying
really
here. I'm like doing the best I can.
I think the time zone thing is what hits people the most. Wait,
Yeah.
what time is it for you? No. It's 2:00. No, 2:00 Eastern. 'Cause
Yeah.
listen, yesterday I was telling everybody I was speaking at 6:00 yesterday, and it turns out I was speaking at 6:00, but 6:00 Pacific time.
Oh, very different. Very different.
From 6:00 to 9:00.
I'm okay with US time zones, but then when you get to like people in Australia, that messes me up. I'm like,
I know,
just
I
put me in
missed
my
that.
time.
I have a gal that we were doing a three-way. Angels in Denver, Colorado, Mountain Time. Dawn is in Buenos Aires, whatever, South America
Whatever
time. And then Annie is in Australia. And so Annie and I are 16 hours apart. Dawn and Annie are 12 hours apart. And Dawn and Angel are 4 hours apart. That was crazy. And guess who missed the appointment? So after all of that, even this morning, I was trying to figure out, well, could we have Annie on the morning show? But it would be 1:00 in the morning for her tomorrow morning because there's 16 hours ahead of us. Isn't that crazy?
Well, you can always ask her. She might be a night owl.
Yeah, you never know. People have done it before.
Dr. Marina was on their summit at midnight.
Well, this is true. This is true. So I used to host a daily talk show here out of Denver, Colorado. And once a month, we did have a guest who came in from Adelaide, Australia, Michael Russo, and it was like 2:30 in the morning for him. And he was a guest on our show once a month.
I wonder what he did. Did he go to sleep and wake up? Did he not go to sleep at all until after the show?
Well, before he had a baby, because he did it for like 3 years. Before he had a baby, he would stay up all night. But then when he had a baby, then he would take a nap. And
like, I can't do that no more.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then it did get to be a little too challenging, right, with his family and stuff. So he ended up, but yeah, 16 hours ahead. And then we would do daylight savings, right, which would then shift in our daylight savings and their daylight savings, because they do daylight savings too, but not the same weekend that we do. So we would, the time zone thing is absolutely crazy. But the awards, the Angel and Tina, the A&T awards, so we can celebrate. We want to bring back your favorites, your fan favorites, your people's choice onto our 100th episode, which is coming up on August 14th, which I guess is just in 2 weeks.
It is. It's 2 weeks from today, because today is July 31st. Tomorrow is August 1st.
Oh my gosh. I'm overwhelmed. I am completely overwhelmed. I've got to catch up today. But we are super excited to have the longevity, to have the sponsors, to have the guests of the show. We are having
a big August coming up. We have the cast members from Beyond the Secret that are coming on the show. We have the speakers from Assets Are Sexy that are going to be coming on the show. We have the Connect Summit 7 speakers coming on the show. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 book launch release authors that are coming on the show. So we have a pretty busy August.
We do have a pretty busy August. Ava, do you know when Forbes's book is coming out?
I don't think they know yet. They just said in a few weeks, because right now they have the home office book out.
Okay.
So ours is next.
All right, but it's not in the next few weeks. So
no.
Not in August. You're good.
Okay. No, I don't think August.
You don't need to add it to your millions of books that you're releasing this month, Angel.
It is so exciting. It is so exciting, right? And I don't care if it's your first book or your 12th book. It is always so exciting to release and publish that next book.
Angel, I have a quick question.
To get that book in your hands.
Yes, Ava?
Yeah. So my quick question is, I know we're running out of time. So since I have the One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success book coming out, and then I have my coffee book, and then, by the way, somebody asked me to do a book about my disco days. What do I talk about first?
Yeah, you need an umbrella, right? You need an umbrella of, but so which one is coming out first? And just talk about the next one. Which one's out? So what is next on the radar? What's coming up? Like when we do a press release, it has to be current events, right? So what's happened in the last 2 weeks coming up? Because it's not just one message. They build on each other. So what's actually happening right now, that's what we want to release to the news. And that's what we want to create publicity around, is that current event. So which one's coming out first?
I could wait on my book. I'm the one who's doing it.
So probably Forbes's book.
Yeah, I mean, that.
But we don't know when that's coming.
Popular with all the celebrities and all of that in it. So.
However, you can get that coffee book out in like 3 days. Believe me, ask Angel.
Right.
Look, she's looking at her calendar.
I could. It's almost done.
This one was a 3-day, but it wasn't my first. I would never tell you to do your first book in 3 days. I want you to experience and have the whole, all of that. I don't want to rush it, but they could end up being a simultaneous. You launch this book, become a bestseller, and not just one book, but 2 books that are out at the same time.
I could.
Don't delay. Don't push anything off, because we don't know what tomorrow holds.
This girl anything. She'd be like, let's get it out on Monday.
Done is better than none.
True.
Done is better than none. Don't put it off. We don't know what tomorrow holds. And we don't know what new opportunities are going to come down the pike for you. Every month we do a press release for, a lot of our clients who are on our press release subscription, and I'll text them, okay, so what's new? And they'll send me this laundry list of all the things. I spoke on this stage. I've got this out. I launched this. I did this. I mean, there's a lot going on. And so we have to find a way to put that under one beautiful message. But stay with what's current. Whatever happens in the future, we'll let that roll out. What's happening right now is what we want to share.
Okay, one more thing I forgot to mention. I just signed on Lachelle Atkins. I don't know if you know about her. She's a mom of 15. Yes, I said 15.
Yeah,
kids.
America's Supermom, right?
Yes, you know her. Okay.
Yeah.
So she just signed on as a busy mom expert. So I'm thinking that's press release worthy.
That is press release worthy.
Yeah, and then she's also working with Zandra TV Network as well.
Shit, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, very small world we're all in here, right?
Yeah.
Very small world. Well, Ava, pleasure to have you. Congratulations on all of your success. Holly, I know you inspired so many people this morning with your coaching, your inspiration, and even just explaining. I think even maybe bringing on a few new people who might not have that nursing degree to connect with you. I think that's really beautiful. And Tina, I'm super excited about the awards coming up and just to be able to celebrate that milestone.
I can't wait to get all dolled up.
I know, we're going to get all dressed up. Oh, I should call Bliss by the Lake Boutique and see what they've got for us.
And we can get our microphones out and ask people what they're wearing.
Oh yeah, we can do that interview, our red carpet interviews.
Our red carpet interview. What are you
Oh,
wearing?
yeah, great.
Khakis.
And the award goes too.
I'm wearing yoga pants with glitter.
By Target.
Are you doing it on the same format?
By Target.
Oh, speaking of Target, Carrie Conley's book, Looking Up, is available at Target now, which is exciting.
We got a star in the house. Yo, it's 5 minutes. It's 4 minutes away.
I know. We've got to wrap it up. Okay. So I'm Angel Tuccy. I am your media exposure specialist, your media matchmaker. If you are looking for more exposure, OPP, other people's platforms. If you've got news, let's alert the press. Start out with your complimentary media guide at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. Plug you into our group, plug you into all sorts of great resources. There are an unlimited number of media outlets for you to share your story, and they are looking for fresh new content. You heard Ava, she's looking for guests. They're looking for stories and people to interview. So why not you? Get started at makeyourbigimpact.com.
And I'm Tina Torres, a client retention expert and gratitude specialist. And I do have a book coming out, and the pre-sale starts next week, called Beyond Gratitude, Strategies to Create That Client for a Lifetime. And you can pre-order yours. Just watch the announcement next week. Watch that press release drop next week. Thank you to my wonderful media coach. But I teach you how to build those relationships, build that KLT factor, that know, like, and trust factor that we all need, because it is all about relationships. I teach you how to get a 100% open rate, not 11, 100% open rate. And I teach you how to create that client for lifetime, create that client for a lifetime, turn those clients into Raven fans and referral partners, and increase your cash flow all at the same time. And you can text the word connection to 26786. That's connection to 26786. to get your free 7 ways to increase your cash flow right now. We will see you guys next week, August 3rd. August, people, August. Make sure you put your nominations in for the ANT Awards. They're coming in hot. We probably have about 30 to 40 nominations already. Make sure you nominate your person, a guest that has been on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, and create that category. Best hair, best personality, whatever it is, create that category. Be creative. You can nominate more than one person, and you can self-nominate. So we are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you guys Monday. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.